strolling through Eden on the first morning of creation. The sun cast its celestial eye across our gleaming skin. Here we are, the two of us, male and female, once part of the cosmic egg, as laid by the golden bird, and then split asunder into two complementary units. We are the primal couple, the parents of humanity. Innocent hearts, untouched by angels. The mother and father who stand naked in the womb of paradise. The him, her, the her, him, the anima and the animus, lovers forged upon the perpetual wheels of time. Here, in the garden, we live out our pure and unsullied existence, God-wrapped in a cocoon of limitless ecstasy and joy. Living, breathing effigies, formed in the likeness of the Master of the universe. Our souls reflecting His glory through optical windows of wonder and amazement. Both endless and timeless, we are forever immersed in a glow of idyllic perfection. Our loneliness vanquished by a deep and sustained love. Behind the tree, where the coiled serpent lies waiting, the master of temptation quivers with mischief and spits out his deceitful mantras, tongue flicking like an incarnation of Ka at the dawn of the world. As Eve, fair Eve, like Mowgli before her, is seduced by the hypnotic lullaby of damnation. One small bite for man, one huge consequence for mankind. The forbidden fruit that now enslaves us for all eternity. The burden of sin that now shames us for all time. The skies open and fallen angels come down to ravage the daughters of Eve, their innocence sundered to the uncontrollable lust of the Elohim. As, trampled amid the broken stems and scattered petals of this ruined utopia, our garden, our lovely garden, becomes a guilt-ridden shrine for the gloating purveyors of religious hypocrisy. From this moment on, mankind is saddled with shame and humiliation, branded like cattle with the perpetual stench of heresy, chained to the rack for the sadistic merriment of the Inquisitor and the Witchfinder General, whispering forced confessions into unsympathetic priestly ears. Innocent hearts are now stained with blood. Stained with blood.
My baleal hands are spread on acre wings to see where lingers our Apollyon, whom for such flight most fit chief Lucifer has sent to earth that he might gain from him a better sense of Adam's bliss, state where placed by powers omnipotent he dwells. And lo, time draws nigh that he returns. What brings Apollyon?
I have, Lord Beelzebub, the low terrain observed with keenest eye. And now I offer thee the fruits grown there, so far below these heights, neath other skies and other sun. Now judge thou from the fruit, the land and garden, which even God himself hath blessed and planted for mankind's delight.
The bliss of angels fades in that of man.
Too true, Lord Beelzebub, though high our heaven may seem, 'tis far too low. For what I saw with mine own eyes deceives me not. The world's delights, yea, Eden's fields alone, our paradise excel.
Proceed, we'll hear what thou shalt say. We're here together.
I'll pass my journey thither, I not tell, how downward sweeping through 9 spheres I sped, that swift as arrows round their centre whirl. The wheel of sense revolves within our thoughts, not with such speed as I beneath the moon and clouds drop down. Where then aloft I hung, on floating pinions, to survey that shore, that eastern landscape far that marks the face of that great sphere that flowing ocean rounds, wherein so many kinds of monsters swarm. Afar I saw a lofty mountain emerge, from which a waterfall, found to 4 streams, dashed with a roar into the vale below. Headlong I steered my course, oblique, with steep descent, till I gained the mountain's brow, whence, resting, all the netherworld I viewed its happy fields and glowing opulence.
Now picture as that garden and its shape.
Round is the garden, is the world itself. Above the centre looms the mount from which the fountain gushes that divides in 4, and waters all the land, refreshing trees and fields, and flows in unreflective rills of crystal purity. The streams, their rich alluvion, bring and nourish all the ground. Here onyx gleams, and bdellium doth shine, and bright as heaven glows with glittering stars. So here Dame Nature sowed her constellations of stones that pale our stars. Here dazzle veins of gold, for Nature wished to gather all her treasures in one lap.
But what, pray, of the twain thou sawest there?
Who would the nature and the attributes of each one know as Adam? For 'twas he that gave them, one by one, their various names. Mountain lion wagged his tail and smiled upon his lord, and at his sovereign's feet the tiger took his fierceness laid. The bull bowed low his horns, the elephant his trunk, the bear forgot his rage, the griffin heard his call, the eagle and the dragon dread, bear moth and even great leviathan. Nor shall I tell what praise rings in man's ears, amid those warbling bowers, replete with songs in many tongues, while zephyrs rustle through the leaves, and brooks purl beneath their silvered banks, a murmurous harmony that wearies never. Had but Apollyon his mission then accomplished, sooth, in Adam's paradise, he soon had lost all memory of heaven.
His praise is not in vain, for gifts so rare.
He rules, even like a god whom all must serve. The invisible soul consists of spirit, not of matter, and it rules in every limb. The brain it makes its seat, and there holds court. It is immortal, nor fears aught of rust or other injury. It is past our sense. Knowledge and prudence, virtue and free will are its possessions. Dumb all spirits stand before its majesty. Ere long the world shall teem with men. It waits from little seed a harvest rich in souls, and therefore God did man to woman join. when erst she filled my gaze, as Adam led her into their arborous bower, gentle hand. From time to time he stopped, in contemplation, and gazing thus, a holy fire began his pure breast to inflame. And then he kissed his bride, and she her bridegroom. Thus on joy their nuptials fed, on feasts of fiery love. Better imagined far than told, a bliss divine beyond all angel ken. How poor our loneliness! For us no union sweet of twofold sex, of maiden and of man. Alas, how much of good we miss! We know no mate or happy marriage in a heaven devoid of woman. That nature's pencil needs nor lesser hues than sunbeams. Perfect are both man and wife, of equal beauty they, from head to foot. By right doth Adam Eve excel in strength, of form and majesty of bearing, as one chosen for the sovereignty of earth. But Eve combines all that her bridegroom joys, a tenderness of limb and softest skin and flesh, a lovelier tint and eyes enchanting, a charming, gracious mouth, a sweeter voice, whose power lies in a sound more exquisite. 2 founts of ivory, and what besides? No tongue should dare to name, lest spirit should be tempted. And though all the angels now impress our eyes as beautiful and fair, how ill their forms and faces would appear, if seen within the rosy morning light of maidenhood.
It seems that passion for this feminine creature hath their heart inflamed. But what profits human glory, if even as a flower of the field, it fades and dies?
So long their garden fruit doth give, shall this most happy pair live by an apple sweet, grown on the central tree, that nurture finds beside the stream that laves its tender roots. This wondrous tree is called the tree of life. 'Tis incorruptible, and though man joys life eternal and all immortal things, while of his angel brothers he becomes the peer, yea, and shall in the end surpass them all, till his power and sway and realm spread over all. For who can clip his wings? No angel hath the power to multiply his being 1,000,000 times, in swarms innumerable. Now do thou calculate what shall from this in time the outcome be.
Great is man's might, that thus even ours outgrows.
Soon shall his increase frighten and astound, though now his sway stoops lower than the moon, and though 'tis now determinate, he shall yet higher rise and place himself upon the highest seat in heaven. If God prevent not this, how then can we prevent it? For God loves man well, and for him made all things. Of heaven, in the name of him, the highest, to unfold, as herald from the towering throne of thrones, what there him was enjoined.
The goodness, in the image of himself, formed man, also the angels, that they might together here with him securely hold the realm eternal. The good never comprehended, having the while with faithfulness maintained his firm prescribed law. He also built this wondrous universe, the world below made manifest and meet for God and man, that in this garden man might rule and there might multiply, acknowledge God with all his seed, him ever serve and ever revere, and thus mount up by the stairway of the world the firmament of beatific light within into the never created glow. Though spirits may seem preeminent above all other beings, yet God hath decreed, even from eternity, that man shall high exalted be, even over the angel world. Him destined for a glory and a crown of splendor not inferior to his own. Ye shall behold the eternal Word above, when clad in flesh and bone. Anointed Lord, and Chief and Judge, mete justice to the hosts of spirits, to angels and to man alike, from his high seat in his unshadowed realm. There in the center stands the holy throne, already consecrate. Let all the hosts angelic then have care to worship him, when he shall ride in triumph in, who hath the human form exalted over our own. Then dimly shines the bright translucent flame of seraphim beside this light of man. This glow and radiance divine, the rays of mercy shall all nature's splendors drown. 'Tis fated thus, and stands irrevocable.
Who is it, high-seated, so deep in boundless realms of light, whose measure space nor time hath meted, nor e'en eternity, whose mind, supportless, yet itself maintaineth, floating on pinions of repose, who, in His mightiness ordaineth what round and in him changeless flows, and what revolves and what is driven around him, centre of his plan, the Son of Sons, the Spirit living of space, the soul of all we can conceive, and of the unconceived, the heart, the life, the fount, the sea, and source of all things here perceived, that from him spring, and that his decree omnipotent and mercy flowing on wisdom from naught did evoke, ere this four-crowned palace glowing, the heaven of heavens, the darkness broke. Where all our eyes, our wings extending to veil his dazzling majesty, mid harmonies to him ascending, we fall before him tremblingly and kneel, confused in awe together. Who is it? Name, or picture then his being with the seraph's feather, or is it beyond your tongue and ken? 'Tis God, being infinite, eternal, of everything that being has. Forgive us, oh, thou power supernal. By all that is and ever was now fully praised, ne'er to be spoken. Forgive us, nor in sense depart, since no imagining, tongue nor token can thee proclaim. Thou wert, thou art for e'er the same. All angel praising and knowledge is but faint and tame. 'Tis but foul sacrilege, their phrasing, for each bears his peculiar name save thee. And who can, but declaring, reveal thy name? And who make known thine oracles? Who is so daring? He who thou art alone. Thy power transcendent, who grasps thy full divinity, who dares to face thy throne resplendent, the fierce flow of eternity, to whom the light of light revealed. What's hid behind thy sacred veil, from us thy mercy hath concealed? Such bliss transcends the narrow pale of our weak mind. Our life is waning, but thine, Lord, shall know endless days. Our being in thine finds it sustaining. Exalt the Godhead, sing his praise. Holy, holy, once more holy, 3 times holy. Honour God, without him is nothing holy. Holy is his mighty nod. Strong in mystery he reigneth. His commands our tongues compel to proclaim what he ordaineth. While the faithful Gabriel with his trumpet came expounding, praise of man to God redounding. All that pleaseth God is well.
Your speedy spirits, stay our chariot now. God's morning star in its full zenith stands. Its height is reached, and lo, the moment comes when Lucifer was set before this star. This double star that rises from below and seeks the way above to tarnish heaven with earthly glow. No more should you adorn not Lucifer's apparel with glittering crowns, nor gild his forehead with the glorious dawn of morning star to which archangels kneel. Another splendor sweeps into the light of God, whose radiance drowns all vaulted glory. As to the eyes of man below, the sun by day puts out the stars, the shades of night bedim the angels and the sons of heaven. For man hath won the heart of the Most High within his new created paradise. He is the friend of heaven. Our slavery even now begins. Go hence, rejoice and serve and honor this new race like servile slaves. For God was man created, we for him. Let then the angels bend their necks beneath his feet. Let each one now upon him wait, and bear him even unto the highest thrones, on hands or wings. For our inheritance shall pass to him, the chosen Son of God. We, the firstborn, shall suffer in this realm. The Son, born on that sixth day, and made in the image of the Father, shall obtain the crown. And rightly unto him was given the mighty scepter, which shall cause even us, the ones firstborn, to tremble and to shake. Here holds no contradiction now. You heard what Gabriel's trump spake at the golden pot?
Stadtholder of God's superior powers, alas, we here to dwell amid the praise of choristers and discord that makes sad the feast he turned. The charge of Gabriel is clear. It needs no tongue of cherubim to unfold its sense, nor was there need to send Apollyon below, nearer view to gain of Adam's realm beneath the moon. Stands ajar for Adam's seed. Noah from that have crawled out of the dust. Out of a clod of clay defies thy power. Thou shalt yet man behold o'er the exalted, so that thou shalt fall.
That shall I thwart, if in my power it be. That shall I thwart, if in my power it be. That shall I thwart, if in my power it be.
Is a center and circumference
It is not meet for domination's grave. Powers, well disposed in state, thus to give up so loosely their established rights. And since the supreme power is by his laws most bound, to change becomes at least. Let all yield who will, nor 1 foot shall I ever retreat. Nor hardships dire, nor yet disaster, nor anathemas shall me intimidate or tame. For here is my fatherland. Am I a son of light, a ruler of the light? My place I shall maintain. To no usurper bow, not even this arch usurper. To be the first prince in some lower court is better now. Within the blessed light, to be the second, or even less. To be the first prince in some lower court is better now. Within the blessed light, to be the second, or even less. The second, or even less. To die, or to gain port around this dreadful cave. This is my destiny. Doth fate decree that I must fall, of rank and honor sure? Then let me fall with this, my crown upon my brow, this scepter in my grasp, with my own retinue of faithful troops, and with these many thousands on my side, thus the fall brings honor, and shall shed unfading glory on my name. Unfading glory on my name. I shall maintain. To no usurper bow, not even this arch usurper. Am I a son of light, the ruler of the light? My place I shall maintain. To no usurper bow, not even this arch usurper. To be the first prince in some lower court. Within the blessed light, to be the second, or even less. To be the first prince in some lower court is better than. Within the blessed light, to be the second, or even less.
"'Tis thus I weigh the stroke, nor harm, nor hindrance feel. But here, hard by, comes heaven's interpreter and herald vigilant. With God's own book of mysteries come committed to his care. Well, most opportune for us is coming hither, for I would question him. I shall accost him then, and from my chariot descend. The spirits once consecrate to service in imperial palaces shall serve an earthworm that from out the dust hath crawled and grown, and on his bidding wait, and see him then excel in rank and numbers. Why doth the endless mercy us degrade so soon? What angel hath forgot to render due reverence? How could the deity mingle with base mankind, and thus pass by the nature of his chosen angels here, while his own nature and his being he pours into a body? Shall now eternity's bright, quenchless sun set in the gathering darkness of the world? Shall we, the stadtholder of God, thus kneel before this shadow power?
Lord Stadtholder, how? With a bound?
To thee, O herald and interpreter of heaven,
Methinks I read thy purpose on thy brow.
thou who canst fathom, and who canst reveal, through the deep searching light of thy mind's eye, the shadowy mysteries of God, relieve me with thy coming, the late decision of the ruling powers, the new decree made by the Godhead, who esteems celestial joys as of less worth than earthly elements, oppresses heaven. Even from the low abyss, the earth exalts above the stars, sets men high in the seat of the angels. Shorn of primordial powers, he then commands for human happiness to sweat and slave. We spirits are yet too gross to comprehend this mystery. Thou, the key dost guard of God's rich treasure house of mysteries, unlock, if so thou mayest, this secret dark from out thy sealed book. Unfold to us the will of heaven.
As much as it is to us permitted to unfold out of God's book, indeed may damage bring, the sovereign power revealeth only what he does seem most fit. The inner light blinds even seraphim, the spotless wisdom in part her will conceal, in part would it disclose. The reason why the Lord, which secret we shall know, when first shall pass a lineage of earth-born generation, who, both God and man, become, shall reign, and rule afar and wide. The stars, the sea, the earth, and all that live, the heavens conceal from thee. Time shall divulge the cause, God's trumpet heed, his will now thou hast heard.
Shall then on high, a worm, an alien, wield the greatest power? Must they, who native are to heaven, thus yield to foreign rule? Shall men then found a throne, even over the throne of God? Till now my crown hath bowed to none but God.
Then also bow before this last decree of God, who leadeth all that have their beings from naught, ye, all that ever shall live, unto their end in certain destiny. Thou art indeed most zealous for the glory of God's name, though try without weighing well that God, the point wherein his majesty doth lie, far better knows than we. Cease therefore now this inquisition, for when God as man shall have become, he shall this book of his own mysteries, now sealed with 7 seals, himself unseal. To taste the current within is not for thee, thou seest the shell alone. Then of this long concealment we shall learn the cause and hidden reason all the while, deep gazing in the unveiled Holy of Holies. It now behooves us ever to obey, and to revere this rising dawn, to use our life with thankfulness until the time when knowledge in her power shall drive all doubt away, even as the sun the night. Now learn we gradually, with modest reverence, God's wisdom to approach, and this to us reveals, by slow degrees, the light of truth and knowledge, and requires that, on his watch, each shall submit himself to reason's rule. Lord Stadtholder, be calm, be foremost thou, now to maintain the law. God sends me hence, I must away.
I do beseech thee, Gabriel, if now thy trumpet's voice, the new-made law, given by the high command, I do resist, or seemingly oppose. We strive for God's own honor, yea, to give to God his right. Should I become thus daring, and wander far beyond the narrow path of my obedience.
The Stadtholder now hears the meaning of this proclamation he gave so proudly blown by Gabriel's trumpet bolt. How well he showed thee God's design, whose purpose thou mayst send. Thus shall he clip the wings of thy great power.
But not so easily. Nay, forsooth, I shall have care this purpose to prevent. Let not a power inferior thus dream to rule the powers above. Now swear I by my crown, upon his chance, to venture all, to raise my seat amid the firmament, the spheres, the splendor of the stars above. The heaven of heavens shall then my palace be, the rainbow be my throne, the starry vast my court, while down beneath the earth shall be my footstool and support. I shall then, swiftly drawn through air and light, high-seated on a chariot of cloud, with lightning stroke and thunder, grind to dust whatever above, around, below doth us oppose. Were it God's martial brand himself, ere we yield, these Empyrean vaults, proud in their towering masonry, shall burst with all their arches and dissolve before our eyes. This huge and joint racket earth, like a misshapen monster, lifeless lie. This wondrous universe to chaos fall, and to its primal desolation change. Who dares defy great Lucifer?
O Stadtholder of God's unbounded realm, and oracle within the council of the gods subordinate, I offer thee my service and await thy new commands. What now the word? What of thy subjects would thy majesty?
It pleaseth us to hear thy sense and thy opinion of a grave and weighty plan that cannot fail to win. 'Tis our intent to pluck the proudest plume from Michael's wings, that our attempts upon his mightiness shall not rebound as vain. With his own arm as many oracles he found, as ever God himself hath hewn from deathless diamond with his hand. Behold now, men exalted to the heaven of heavens, through all the circles of the spheres, that see the spirit world, so deep, so far below, even neath his footcloth there, like feeble worms already crawling in the dust. I joy to storm this throne with violence, and thus to hazard, by one strong opposing stroke, the glory of my state and star and crown.
Thou knowest what Michael, God's field marshal, may, neath his command are all God's legions placed. He bears the key of the armory here on high. To him the watch is trusted, and he keeps a faithful, sleepless eye on all the camps. So that of all the galaxies of heaven, not even one star is in celestial march, dare move itself the least, nor stir without its ranks. 'Tis easy to commence, but in such warfare to engage exceeds our might, and drags trains of hardships in its wake. What ordnance and what Martilla engineering could e'er avail his legions proud to quell? The valiant marshal bears with no less fire and pride God's wondrous name, amid the field of this great banner, with the sun above.
What boots a name? Heroic deeds as this are never achieved with titles nor with pomp, but by valor, spirit, and subtle strokes and skill and cunning bred. Thou art a master wit with craftiness the spirits to seduce, and teach even those to waver who had thought to waver never. Begin, we see God's legions in two camps divided, lords and vassals, roused to strife and mutiny. One and all cried loudly for a chief, will crown thy craft and dexterous management with place and honor. Go this blood consider with Belial, his countenance smooth varnished, with dissimulation's hue. My car I now ascend, think it is over. Chief Lord, guard with thy trusty followers, this mighty gate to the palace leads.
God's that all that doth serve himself with us on high,
We fly together from his bow like speeding arrows.
and both aimed are even at one mark, though perilous to reach.
Ere long the heavens shall crack neath our attempt.
Let crack what will, the matter must proceed.
How then this cause to best advantage grasp?
The weapons favor us, we first must gain the guard.
The chieftains first, and with them the bravest troops must then succeed in winning.
Rule something specious, need some seeming geist.
Name thou this thing. Come, say what thou shalt call it.
Our angel realm must be maintained, its state, its honor, and its privilege.
Thou comprehendest well. No better cause I wish for seed for mutiny, to set the court against its subjects, throng against throng. For each among us is inclined to guard that honour, rank, and lawful privilege unto him given by the Omnipotent ere he created man. An afterthought. The celestial palace is our heritage. To the spirits, who above float on their wings, who, incorporeal, therefore, ne'er can sink, this place is more adapt than to the race of earth, too sluggish, far to choose against their nature these clear bows. Here shines the day too bright, too strong. Their eyes cannot endure that splendid light, upon whose glow we gaze. Then let man keep in his native element, as other creatures do. Let him suffice the bounds of his terrestrial paradise, where the rising and the setting of the sun and moon divide the months and form the year. Let him observe, in their wide circling round, the crystal spheres. Let Eden's pleasant fruits content him, and its flowers that breathe perfume, to range from east to west, and from north to south. Let this his pastime be. What needs he more? Will ne'er bring homage to an earthly lord? Thus I resolve. Canst thou more briefly yet this meaning state?
For all eternity, mankind to lock without the gate of heaven.
That tinkles well in the angelic ear. That flashes like a flame from choir to choir, through orders 9 and all the hierarchies.
And then it were most opportune that Beelzebub, a chief of power and eminence, tender them his seal, to force their fastest right and great redress of grievances.
Not all at once, but gradually, as if by bypaths one.
Then let the stadtholder himself approach, and in support of such a proud resolve, offer his mighty arm.
We soon shall hear, when in the council, his opinion and his intent. Then let him for a while his thoughts dissemble. At last, spur on the maddened throng, embarrassed for a head.
Upon the head depends the whole affair. Whatever their promises, without a chief they never commence so hazardous a cause.
What hath been won, no need to win again. Who most hath lost in glory and in state, him doth it most concern. Let him proceed, and beat the measure for a myriad feet.
murmur this? Dost hear a strife of tongues? O brothers, what doth cause this sad lament? Why miserable? The cause? They make complaint of man's approaching state and triumph, as proclaimed by Gabriel's trumpet, that he outranks the angels. This briefly states their sorrow's cause. How thus can justice unjust verdicts speak? Correct God's verdicts, write thou his laws. While one sitteth on the throne, he casts another down. One least worthy must unto the sun, while they ends on this. One power rules all, cease now this murmur, the proudest tower can make the humblest base. The elements of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. Whate'er that breathe may rightly the created praises bring. Riches being gave, and unto each gave his degree. The Godhead can the state of angels miss, nor aid these by others' service. For the glorious realm return, nor music needs, nor incense, nor these odours swung, nor harmonies of praise. Ungrateful swarits, be still, your base tongues curl. State of the ruling spirit so changeable, they stand on slippery ground. How pitiable their lot, how miserable. Because a lesser in this realm shall reign, we shall remain as now. How are we wronged? They are the nighest God, their refuge sure and father. They upon his breast have lain. Now lies a lesser one more close than they.
One to grieve over others' bliss shows lack of love and sense of envy and pride. Let not this stain upon the purity and brightness of the angels thus remain. One power rules all, cease now this murmur, the proudest towering can make the humblest base. The elements of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. One power rules all, cease now this murmur, the proudest tower can make the humblest base. The elements of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. The elements of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. As he wishes. To strive in concord, love and faithfulness, the one against the other here, doth please the Father, who all things in ranks ordained. So they maintain the rank the heavens them gave, but hardly can endure man's slave to be. That's disobedience, and from their rank they thus shall fall away. Thou seest how too the hosts of heaven in golden armour clad, and in appointed ranks arrayed, keep watch, each in his turn, how this star sets and that ascends, and how not one of all on high, the lust and dulls of others there or here, nor yet of those who are dim, the voice of him who ruleth all this measured
cadence leads and listens, and he faithfully obeys. The firmament remains as God decreed. Had it not pleased him thus to disarrange the state of angels, they would not, as now, awake the stars from their harmonious peace, nor thus disturb with plaints these quiet courts. Beware, lest thou this discontentious flame, while one be seated on the throne, he casts another down. One least worthy must unto the Son, more favoured then submit. One power rules all, cease now this murmur, the proudest arrogant make the humblest base. The element of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. One power rules all, cease now this murmur, the proudest arrogant make the humblest base. The element of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. The element of earth he shall change to air, water, fire, as he wishes. As he wishes.
How oft belief proves but delusive hope. Alas, how things have changed. We deemed no rank than ours more happy in this rising realm. Yea, thought our state, even like unto God's own, more blessed than earth, and air unchangeable. Till Gabriel met us with his trumpet bold, and from the golden port the hosts astounded with this new-made decree, that shall deprive the angels of the good, the highest good, first from the Godhead's breast to the outboard. How is our glory dimmed! O unexpected blow and change of lot! Ah, comrades in one grief! Ah, come, and gather round in groups and sigh, and weep with us together here. 'Tis time to rend this shining raiment, meet for feasts, to voice our plaints, for none can this forbid. Our gladness fades and our first sorrow dawns. Alas, alas, ye choristers of heaven, O brothers, tear those garlands from your brows, and change the blithesome livery of joy for sorrow's gruesome garb. Oh, droop your eyes, seek shadows even as we, for sorrow shuns the light. Let each one raise his voice to ours and utter fearful plaints, drown in your grief. Sink down in a mournful thought, to voice your woe, the burdened heart relieves. Now joy to groan, for groaning heals the smart. Shout aloud, as with one voice, and follow these our woes.
Is our bliss departed? Alas, where is our bliss departed? Where is our bliss? Alas, where is our bliss departed? Alas, alas, where is our bliss departed? Where is our bliss? Alas!
Plaint arises here, unpleasant sound. The heavens shrink back in fright. This air on high hath not been wont to hear the wail of woe in sad notes, sobbing through these joyful vaults. Nay, wreaths and palms and loud triumphal song and tuneful harps are far more meet for us. What can this be? Who crouches here with head down hanging, sad, forlorn, and needlessly oppressed? Who gave thee food for grief? Who Who can the reason guess? O fellow choristers, come then. 'Tis needful that we ask the cause of their lament and this dark cloud of woe, that robs our splendour of its radiance, and dims and dulls the bright translucent glory of the eternal feast. Heaven is a court where joy and peace and all delights abound. Grief never nestled beneath these lucid eaves, nor woeful pain. Ah, fellow choristers, oh, come, console them in their heaviness.
O brothers, can ye ask with earnestness why we thus grieve?
Did ye also not hear what Gabriel's trump revealed? How we, through this new given command, down from our state are thrust into a slavery of earth, and of as many souls as from a little blood at sea may haply spring?
What have we done amiss? How erred, that God, a water bubble, blown full of vapid air, exhorts his sons, the angels, to abase? A bastard-like exaltation, forged out of clay, dust.
Companions dear in our high happiness. Oh, brothers, why? Oh, sons of the glad light, why thus depressed at heart? Ye had begun to lift your heads aloft to heaven, to bloom amid the day, whose lustre streams from God's deep glow. The heavens brought you forth, to mount in rapid flight, from firmament to firmament beyond, from court to court, to flit amid the shadeless light content, in one delightful life, an endless feast.
Alas, where is our bliss departed? Alas, where is our bliss departed? Where is our bliss? Alas, where is our bliss departed? Alas, alas, where is our bliss departed? Where is our bliss? Alas. Alas, alas, where is our bliss departed?
All goeth well, we gain increase, and grieve the angels now ascend, until woe their heads they droop together. What doth move you, angel hosts, with sighs and groans to mourn? And the bloom of happiness does fade, in peace all to possess that spirit can withhold God, the giver, doth even discontent you not, and ye therefore stand in your own light and cherish mournfulness, whose course I can nor fathom nor discern. Come, seize your bones, no longer tear your standards and your robes, without a cause, clear your clouded face and darkened forehead with new radiance. Your bitter moan doth mar the rhythm of the celestial palace, till these falls re-echo as your woe. The wail of sorrow through the highest arches rose. Sphere to sphere.
Chief Lord, whose potent word unnumbered bands would call to arms, thou comest most opportune to soothe our misery and to prevent by thy great power this threatened injury and undeserved disgrace.
Disgrace.
Shall Gabriel the sacred crown of the holy angels place on Adam's head, through Adam's son and heir, crush God's firstborn? 'Twere better far had we not been made In the splendor, dazzling sun, his chariot mounted and into heaven shone. The God had chosen vain the spirits as gods of these immobile courts. If thus he shall against their vested rights himself oppose, who guiltless to resistance are provoked by dire impatience and necessity.
Methinks that thou art wrong, O king of horns, 'twere better to avert it. Give no cause for mutiny, discord, give no cause whereby rebellion grows. What remedy, how reconcile you with the majesty supreme?
We were rejoicing here and raptured with the praise to God our Lord, were bowing low in deep humility and worshipping mid burning censers with devotion flame, or quivering with the rippling notes. The heavens from choir to choir unto the sound gave ear, yea, melted slowly in delicious joy, with song and ardent chanted when the trump of Gabriel midst the rising harmony blew that decree, and midst the glory fell this thunderbolt of night. The youngest son was given the crown, the scepter and the blessing, while the eldest born marked as a slave remains. That is the part obedience, devotion, love, and faithfulness receive from God's rich treasury that mourning brings, that wrath enkindles, and thoughts of revenge grow out of righteous hate. Chief Lord